Welcome back to Great North Gaming. It's great to have you here with us today, and it's time to continue our NHL 26 franchise mode here with the New York Rangers. We're here at the beginning of year number 5. We're coming off a Stanley Cup final appearance where we lost in Game 7 to the Colorado Avalanche. It was a disappointing end of the season, but I did not expect us to make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final this year, so I am very happy with that. So we made a couple shifts in the offseason. So we traded away Kevin Krasinski because he did not want to sign here in New York, and we brought in Carter Yamerchuk. Oh, sorry, guys, Carter Yamerchuk. So excited to have him on the team here. We've retooled our bottom six here, but we have a ton of prospects that are ready to break into the NHL here, down here in the AHL. So it's not fair holding on to these guys here. Let's give them a chance to play. And I've already pre-scouted 2 trades here to solidify our team for year number 5 to get back to the Stanley Cup final. One being a bottom 6 center here. We're going to move Crosby maybe over to the wing. And we can scratch one of these guys down here. And one of them being another top defenseman to really solidify this team and have a stacked defensive core heading into this year. So let's hop to those trades that we're already going to make. I already did the pre-scouting here, so let's go. Alrighty here. So we are here. We are going to be trading with the Tampa Bay Lightning, and we are going to be bringing in Anthony Cirelli. So he's got 2 years left at 6.25. We don't need to really worry about contract. We don't really need to worry about money for this year or next year. We do need to sign Pugh and who is it? Sorry, and Toivonen in the next 2 years. But I'm not too worried about that. Cirelli's going to be done in the next 2 years, so we have the cap space. Let's spend it here, and we're not going to be trading anyone off of our team here. So firstly, we are going to be sending them Jacob Brombach. He's 22 years old, top 4. He's a great young defensive defenseman, but unfortunately, he just doesn't fit with our team. We just don't need him here, so we're going to send him the other way, along with Mironov here. We just drafted this guy this year in the draft. Looks like a good prospect here, but we need to move on. We're trying to win a Stanley Cup now. So Brombach and Mironov. I'm going to try this straight up for Cirelli. If not, we can add in a third here. So Brombach and Mironov for Anthony Cirelli. Will it go through? Trade rejected, too far off. I didn't think that was going to go through. I did put down to add in a 3rd round draft pick for this year. So Brombach, Mironov, and a 3rd for Anthony Cirelli. Will it go through? Trade accepted. We'll see you out on the ice there. So we'll go to roster moves here. We don't need to worry about that for right now. Best AHL lines. And then our second trade, we are going to go over here. It's in division, so this might come back to bite us a little bit, but I want to solidify our defensive core, and Jacob Chychrun is the man to do it. He can play both sides, but preferably the left hand, which is more what we need. A great balanced guy here. He's going to bring some toughness to the team here. He's got 4 years left, but he has a 21-team no trade, so we can move off of him here. So this is going to be a big one here. So skaters matching the block here. So we're going to be sending them Ottavin, Holinka, Laba. We're going to throw those guys in there. We're also going to add in a 2nd and a 3rd for, this year. 2nd and a 3rd, and we got to bring back 2 guys here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Wrong button there. All skaters here. We just got to bring back 2 players. The lowest trade value here. So add those guys on the team. New York would be over the salary cap for next year. I didn't think that. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I thought we'd still be fine for next year. But maybe we can get them to retain a little bit here. $2 million, that's not going to go through. We'll try it. So Ottavin, Holinka, Laba, a 2nd and a 3rd for Jacob Chychrun with $2 million retained. Will it go through? trade rejected here. So we're going to have to look at this a little bit differently. I did have another player I'd be willing to throw in here. So I think he should have some trade value. Sakura I wanted to throw in there. Just another young player that we just don't really have room for on this team. All right. In order to get this to go through, I feel like we're going to have to give up our first for next year. But I think that's worth it because we do have him extended here. So Ottavin, Holinka, Laba, Sakura, and a first-round pick for Jacob Chikrin. Will it go through? Trade rejected. Okay, we're going to have to work this out a little bit here. Maybe if we don't add in Holinka there and we add in our second-round pick. So a first and a second, Laba, Holinka, and Ottavin. Will it go through? Trade rejected. I feel like we got to take off one of these guys and add in another draft pick here. We'll take off Noah Laba. We'll add in another second here because that has more trade value. All right, values on our side. Can we get the salary cap down here? Perfect, 1.65. Can we go a little bit more here? Okay, we can. All right, so 950K. That's all we're asking them to retain. So Ottavin, Holinka, first and 2 seconds for Jacob Chikrin. Will it go through? Trade rejected. Doesn't meet your block needs. Man. All right, let me take a look at this, see if we can work something else out. Alrighty, guys, so this one's going to hurt, but I'm going to offer up Cameron Reed. He's going to be pushed out by Jacob Chikrin here. He's young. We just signed him as well. We locked him up for 2 years at 800K. It would have been great, but I think Jacob Chikrin's going to be great. So Holinka, a first, a second, and a third for Jacob Chikrin. Will it go through? Trade rejected. Oh, let's add that second in there. Will that go through? Trade rejected whatsoever, really? What if we hold on to our first rounder and we trade Rocco Pelosi? We'll try that. I don't really want to give up Pelosi, but I don't really see where he's going to fit into our team in the next couple of years. Jacob Chikrin's going to help us win a cup. Miroslav Holinka and Reed. We'll try this for Jacob Chikrin. Will it go through? Trade rejected. They don't want the retained salary cap, but I have any cap I can send back to them. Crosby, no. I need someone on a 2-year deal. Fogle. Okay, what if I just send Fogle back? Is Fogle the player I want to trade? Monahan. I want to keep Kreider's no movement. Alright, we'll put in Fogle there. Can we keep Pelosi? And can we just add back in the draft picks here? Because I would rather keep Pelosi for a bigger trade here. And then we don't have to retain. Okay, so Cameron Reed, Miroslav Holinka, Warren Fogle, a first-round pick and a second-round pick for Jacob Chikrin. Will it go through? Trade rejected still. Like the value is here. I don't know if I can justify 2 first-round picks. Is that better than... We already have the prospect in Rocco Pelosi. We can try to get some more draft picks here. It's probably not going to be a good draft pick. Jacob Chikrin is an elite defenseman that's going to help us. A good skater. Oh, 53 points. Like, he puts up good points. Doesn't really throw the body. He gives the puck away more, but they're on a bad team. Is this an overpayment for Jacob Chikrin? You know what? Let's just keep the one trade for Cirelli right now, and we can revisit this at the trade deadline if we think our defensive core needs work. Because I'm not really convinced that we need... Like, I feel like that might be forcing it a little bit here, but we do still need to trade away some of these players here, but we can hold on to them until the trade deadline. But we do need to, while I'm thinking about trades, we do need to make a trade down in the AHL because we'd have two young prospect goaltenders here that need to start playing here. Laminen and Emelin, sorry. They're both 72 overall, so they're ready to start playing here. So Gagnon and Javakovsky, but we're just going to trade away Gagnon for right now, just so that if there's any injuries, they can just call him up. Dallas has got the contract extensions here, or contracts available here. If we can just get a 5th round pick, I think that seems pretty good for Gagnon. Oh, that's a little too much. How about a 6th? Trade rejected. Really? Okay, a 7th, Dallas. Come on. Trade accepted. There we go. Sorry, Gagnon. We're going to make some moves. So let me edit the lines here with Cirelli added in, and we'll take a look at what we're looking like for year number 5. Alrighty, guys, so we took care of all the line changes here. So the first line this year is going to be Gavin McKenna, Anton Frundell, and Liam Pugh. So we're going to give Liam Pugh the shot. I'm hoping that he can perform. If not, we can move up Tage Thompson. We can adjust the lines here if we're not playing well. Second line is going to be Will Cooley, Tage Thompson, and Will Smith. I really like that second line. Third line is going to be Bobby McMahon, Anthony Cirelli, and Sidney Crosby. Fourth line is going to be Chris Kreider, Barrett Hayton, and Sean Monahan. So pretty stacked offensive core. Defensively, Nikishin and Toivonen, Schneider and Yamerchuk, Reed and Sandin. Power play 1 is going to be Frundell, McKenna, Smith, Thompson, and Nikishin. Power play 2 is going to be Crosby, Pugh, Hayton, and Will Cooley and Yamerchuk, both +5s. Penalty kill 1 is going to be Cirelli and Frundell with Yamerchuk and Schneider. Second line is going to be Hayton and Cooley with Nikishin and Toivonen. And then the third pairing is going to be Crosby and McMahon with Sandin and Reed there. So we're all set there. Goaltenders are going to be Shesterkin and William Lassell. And scratch, we have Noah Laba, Warren Fogle, and Vili Ottavin to fill in there for injuries. So I think we are all set to go here. Our AHL is looking pretty good as well. I just had to sign an AHL defenseman here. I'm just waiting to get back. But Sikora, Pelosi, and Holinka I'm hoping can go off here. Especially Pelosi and Holinka because they still have potential here to grow. I think Holinka could definitely grow in overall. Pelosi, I feel like it's going to be eventually a trading asset for us. Maybe he breaks into our team. I just don't see it right now because our forward core is quite young. Like, if you take a look at our forward core, Gavin is 21, Frundell is 22, Pugh is 19, Will Smith is 24, Thompson's the oldest at 31, so maybe Rocco comes up and places Tage, and then Will Cooley's 27. So maybe Rocco still has a shot, but not this year anyway. So let's get into our coaching conversation for this year. We also signed an NHL goalie coach as well, Andre Tarange. What are your thoughts for the year? Season goal, compete for the cup. I agree. Preseason focus. Let's do conditioning. So that should be pretty good there. So let's hop up to the beginning of the regular season here and get our home opener started. Alrighty, guys, it's time for our home opener here up against the Washington Capitals, the team we didn't trade for. Jacob Chikrin here. So how's this team going to play? And Ryan Leonard's going to score a shorthanded goal to open up the season. And Ricard Raquel, oh my God, holy, Shesterkin does not do well in the real-time sim here. Holy cow. 2 goals on 12 shots here. We only got 4 shots to start off the year. Oh boy, this ain't looking too hot here to start off the year, but it's still early on. It's the first game of the season here, but you got to come out hotter than this, boys. Second period here, we're starting to climb back in the shots here, but can we get a goal halfway through the game here? Power play opportunity goes nowhere. Power play is stacked there, but Anton Frundell is going to score the first goal of the season for the New York Rangers. And we're going to get to the third period here. Shots are a little bit more even here. We came out so bad in the first period. That was garbage hockey. Come on, can we tie up the game here? 10 minutes to go here in the third period. A power play for Washington. Goes nowhere. Come on, boys. 4 minutes left. Can we tie it up late? And Will Smith actually ties it up late, and we're headed to overtime here. Are we going to win it in overtime? And Anton Frundell, 2-goal game in the home opener. We come back and win that in overtime. So great performance there. I didn't like the start of the first period there for us, but that's okay. We can bounce back here. So let's get up to December 1st here done. And we'll see how our New York Rangers are doing here. I don't need to claim anyone off waivers. Our team's looking pretty good. Up against the Chicago Blackhawks, that is a shutout, 4-0. Great job there, boys. Up against the Boston Bruins, it's a 4-3 loss. I wish we would have pushed that to overtime. 5-4 loss. We need to be pushing these games to overtime early on. November 16th, Anton Frundell is going to go down there, so let me take care of this. Alrighty, we got Noah Laba in there to replace Anton Frundell. He's not playing on the first line, obviously, here. November 16th. Best lines down there in the AHL. All of our top players are playing. A 5-0 loss to Dallas. I don't like the looks of that. 6-3 to start the season, though. Not too bad. A shootout loss there to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Best lines down there in Hartford. We're going to wait for Frundell to come back here. Yeah, Frundy, I want you to be healed up here. So we'll get you back in there. So let me get Frundell back in there. Let's go. Alrighty, guys. We got him back, Anton Frundell back in there. So let's finish off here this month here. We got a couple games left to go. We got a West Coast road trip here. That's a 2-1 loss. A lot of games that we could be pushing to overtime here. That was my concern last year. 9-6-2 to start the season. Not great. Would like to be seeing us a little bit better here. Evan Nurse is injured. That's okay. 8-2 victory there. We should be able to score goals. 3-0 there. We're on a bit of a 4-game winning streak here. Let's keep it rolling. Let's go up to January 1st here. We can dissect the team. If we start to fall off the rails here a little bit, we can. I don't want to claim anyone off waivers. Evan Nurse is back. That's good there. Utah, loss against Utah. Win against Buffalo. Okay, 7-6 victory. What are we doing here? Now, that's the problem with this game. Like, Shesterkin should be a great goaltender, and, like, in front of this team, he should be great, but we'll see. 18-7-2, not too bad. Nikishin's been injured till December 30th. It's actually not too bad here. We got a couple games. As long as we can get some points, I'm not too angry there. Just didn't want to make all the line changes there. But the team's pulling it off here with Nikishin out. We'll sit him there for the Toronto game because I want him to be fully healthy. Don't need him to go down here. So, and a shootout loss against Toronto. Okay, we picked up points here. So let me get Nikishin back in. We'll take a look at the player stats. All right, so taking a look around the league here, we are first place in our division. We're only up by 1 point on the Islanders with the game in hand. The Senators are at 47. Kings are at 51. Canucks are at 47. Okay, so we're up there in the top of the NHL, which is pretty good. Let's take a look at the player stats here, see who's performing here for us. Maybe we need to shake up the lines a little bit. So Will Smith, Tage Thompson, Gavin McKenna. First line's a minus there. Pugh, 16 goals. He's up to an 88 now, so we'll keep it rolling there. Will Cooley's plus 11. Crosby's 20 points. Okay, I would like to see a little bit better from these guys. Still early on in the season here, but top players are playing well here, almost all point a game here. I'd like to see Liam Pugh get up there a little bit more here. Where was Nikishin? 17 points, 28 games. Could be better. Goaltenders, Shesterkin a 9.14 and 2.72. Would like to see that a little bit better. LaSalle, 9.66 and a 1.08. 3 shutouts already on the year. He's up to an 83, so that's looking good. Good growth for LaSalle this year. So let's keep it rolling here. Let's get up to the trade deadline here. Let's just go month by month here. So January, how are we going to come back into the new year? 2030. That's a win up against Boston. See, these games that we're losing close, we should be pushing to overtime at least to be picking up some points here. 23, 10, and 4. Alrighty, a bit of a streaky team here. But we're still playing pretty well, so I'm not too worried about it this right now. As long as we can get back in the playoffs, hopefully we can have a good run. Maybe we can add someone at the trade deadline if we feel like that's needed. We're on a 3-game winning streak there. Cameron Reed's been injured. You can just replace a player there. He's back at the end of the month here, so that's perfect. Yeah, these close games, we got to be pushing to overtime here, boys. Cameron Reed's back, but we'll sit you out for a couple games here. I want you to get healthy. All right. So 29, 14, and 5. We are at the top of our division here. Okay. It's not looking too bad yet. Let me get Reed back in there, and we'll continue the sim. Alrighty, boys. February here. Let's get up to the trade deadline here. We'll take a look at the stats again. We'll see if we need to make any adjustments. 30, 14, and 5. We have a pretty good record here, so I'm not too upset about this. Maybe I'm being a little hard on the boys. I was thinking of President's Trophy was in our making this year, but maybe not. Only allowing, holy cow, we're on a bit of a tear there. Only allowing 1 goal, but then we lose 6-3 there. 31, 15, and 5. Winning up against Tampa. Big game here up against the Islanders. And we lose in regulation. That's going to hurt us. As we're pushing here for top of, at least be pushing for top of our division here. Now we're 2 points back on the Islanders. We got another game up against the Islanders here before the trade deadline. Hopefully we can pull through here. That's a loss against New Jersey. Holy. 34, 19, and 5. There we go. At least we picked up a point there. Now we're tied with the Islanders there. We still got 2 games in hand, so that's pretty good. Let's take a look at the player stats. 75 points. The Kings are really running away with it, but we're pretty much around all the top teams in the league, so that's pretty good. Our division doesn't seem that weak. Will Smith at 55 points in 60 games. I would like to be seeing more out of these guys. McKenna, 51. Thompson, 47. Pugh's got 22 goals. I was expecting more. I told him to get a 40-goal season. I should be able to match his goal total from last year. Okay, not as good of a team as I thought we were. I thought we were going to go off this year. Goaltenders, a 9.10 and 2.85. LaSalle is killing it, a 9.48 and a 1.55. Holy cow. He might be ready to go for next year because Shesterkin just doesn't sim well in this. I don't know why. He He does not sim well. So taking a look at our team, you know what? If we can add anything to this team, let's add it. If we can add another forward to this bottom six, or maybe we add another defenseman here. Like Toivonen maybe he's not working well with Lascelles. Maybe we move up Brandon Schneider for a little bit. Yamerchuk and Toivonen. We can try that after the trade deadline here. But let's see what's available at the trade deadline. I'm not crazy about making a move, but if there's someone that makes sense with some term to continue building around, let's do it. So let's go. All right, we're here in the trade deadline. Jacob Chikrin's still available. Brock Besser, Faravari, Garland. I did want Jacob Chikrin, but I don't know if he's actually going to help us out. JJ Peterka, no. Honestly, there's probably no one here that I really want that's really going to help our team out. Like a Michael Bunting, would that help us out here on the bottom? Like we could look at that to help out on our bottom six here. If it's the top six forward line, I'm not crazy about them. We have a lot of these guys. Honestly, I think we're going to hold tight this year, and we're not going to make a trade. Let's continue the season. Alrighty, boys. So not much available here at the trade deadline. We already tried for Jacob Chikrin. I'm not giving up more for him. So we moved up Brandon Schneider here on the top line, our captain. So let's see if we can have a strong end of this season here and finish strong and try to gain home ice advantage. That would be great here. Or, you know, we might have a all New York matchup here. We got a game up against the Islanders. We got to win this game. We won the game, but they picked up points here. 83 points. It's a close race here. We got to go on a tear here, boys. Win up against Winnipeg. Got back-to-back games against Ottawa. Okay, I wish we would have picked up a point there, but we answer back with win against Washington. LA, they're a top team. I wish we could have pulled away points out of that one. That's the problem. Those 24 regulation losses are killing us this year. St. Louis, that's a shootout win here. Come on, boys, get to 50 wins. Nope, we can't get to 50 wins. Come on, finish strong here. Go on a bit of a tear here. Last 3 games. All divisional rivals here. Oh my god. Okay. Alright, we picked up points. 99 points. The Islanders kind of ran away with that. We finished horribly at the end of the year there. So, might have to make some line changes in the as we head into the into the playoffs here, because that first line, they turned it around here. How's Toivonen doing on the bottom pair? Okay, seem to be playing better here. So let's take a look at the stats here. So stats central here. So the entire league, we finished 11th in the league, not too bad. 3.04 goals for per game. We need to be scoring more with that offense. 2.67 though goals against. Second best fourth best in the NHL. Power play only 13%. Penalty kill 86. That's not too bad. 4-5-1 in our last 10. Not great. And then, holy boys, 71 points for Will Smith here. Down season, he scored a little bit more. Gavin McKenna, 66, 24 goals. Pretty much, he's down this year as well. Holy boys. Tage Thompson, 62. He's up in the goal totals. That's a good year for him in goals. About what you expect. Liam Pugh didn't pass that 30-goal mark. Scored it right on. About the same as last year. Nikishin, 52 points. Not bad. Cooley, Like, everyone's kind of putting up points here, which is good. But would like to see a little bit better in goaltenders. A 9-11 and a 2.81. LaSalle in 21 games, a 9.41 and a 1.81, 3 shutouts, a 13-6 record. That's not too bad. So if Shesterkin's crapping the bed in the playoffs, I might go to the rookie here in William LaSalle. It's up to 84. He could be... We might have a little bit more cap space on our hands after this season, but we'll see about that. So we can take a look around the league here at some of the top goal scorers here. Entire league, Austin Matthews going to win the Art Ross and the Maurice Richard. If we take a look at defensemen, Brett Clark put up a lot of points. Werenski, Hughes, Fox, Makar, Levshnoff, Yossi. Oh, I thought that was Cameron Reed. I'm like, what the heck? Okay, not too great there. Goalies. Yeah, Shesterkin's not even really up. Shesterkin's not even the best goaltender in the sim. Oh my god. So in round number 1, who are we facing? We are facing the Carolina Hurricanes. So that's going to be a great matchup here. I think we might have played them in round 1 last year as well, if I'm not mistaken. So let me know your thoughts about this team. Any line changes we should be making heading into the playoffs here. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not going to lie. But let me know your thoughts if we should be making any line changes here as we head into the Stanley Cup playoffs, trying to get back to the Stanley Cup finals. So let me know your thoughts. And if you like this video, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, peace.